Well, after close to 20 hours of questions from senators in the Judiciary Committee, the question and answer phase of Supreme Court nominee Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson are finally over. Those hours are finally over. That portion has ended. And she will most likely be confirmed, as she should, because as I outlined yesterday, she is more qualified by the standard definitions to be on the Supreme Court than any of the 9 justices currently on the court. But this doesn't mean that Republican senators on the Judiciary Committee didn't pull out every possible dirty trick in the book that they could think of. And unfortunately, a lot of these tactics were effective. This morning, I appeared on the right-wing Daily Wire show hosted by Michael Knowles, and and his audience think that it's been incredible what Ted Cruz has done, what Marsha Blackburn did by saying, can you define woman, and on and on and on. So she'll be confirmed, and she should be. But these rhetorical pond scum techniques really do work. And I want to look at a couple more from yesterday. At one point, trying to, again, draw Judge Jackson into one of these rhetorical black holes on identity, Ted Cruz went down a line of questioning where he said, could I choose to be Asian for an hour and then go back to being Hispanic? Take a look at this. And again, the right loved this stuff.
But the question was... But let me ask, under the modern leftist sensibilities, if I decide right now that I'm a woman, then apparently I'm a woman. Does that mean that I would have Article 3 standing to challenge a gender-based restriction?
Senator, to the extent that you are asking me about who has the ability to bring lawsuits based on gender, those kinds of issues are working their way through the courts, and I'm not able to comment on them.
Okay, if I can change my gender, if I can be a woman, and then an hour later, if I decide I'm not a woman anymore, I guess I would lose Article 3 standing.
Now, remember that all of these sometimes mild and sometimes more extreme instances of transphobia, they're all based on imaginary worlds in which people would do this. You know, I don't want to get off on it. We're going to get back to Ted Cruz taking an hour to be an Asian man in a second. But I think it's important to remember that with all of these things about bathrooms and what if I put on, someone the other day left a voicemail asking me about what if I put on a wig so that I can then go into the women's room. It's still against the law to harass people or to stalk people or whatever. And the idea that people are going around trying to figure out how can I spend a really long time in bathrooms out in public. This is not, fortunately, this is not actually the way people operate in the world. And when people do have nefarious goals for things they want to do to others in bathrooms, it doesn't matter, quote, whether you're wearing a wig or the gender of your identity. We have rules against treating people certain ways. And these are all red herrings. But let's continue.
Tell me, does that same principle apply to other protected characteristics? For example, I'm an Hispanic man. Could I decide I was an Asian man? Would I have the ability to be an Asian man and challenge Harvard's discrimination because I made that decision?
Senator, I'm not able to answer your question. You're asking me about hypotheticals and
Well, I'm asking you how you would assess standing if I came in and said, I have decided I identify as an Asian man.
Now, of course, this is such a it's ignorant or bad faith. I don't want to call it one if it might be the other. But when it comes to the court, and if she's interviewing here for a role as a Supreme Court justice, we should think about how these issues are dealt with by a court. And courts have to decide extremely narrowly based on the facts of a particular situation and the complaint of the party bringing the case. And the idea that we just need to vaguely define whether Ted Cruz could be Asian for an hour it's very stupid, and it's not based in reality. Now, Ted Cruz also criticized Judge Jackson because she didn't answer what it means, what the definition of woman is.
Which I think you're the only Supreme Court nominee in history who's been unable to answer the question, what is a woman?
Now, I went back and looked, and I've not found any other Supreme Court nominee in history who was asked to please define a woman. So just bad faith trash all over. We'll look at one more clip radical Republican South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham. He stormed out on the first day of questions. He also did it yesterday after making a bunch of other bad faith arguments. Check this out.
Your view of how to deter child pornography is not my view. I think you're doing it wrong, and every judge who does what you're doing is making it easier for the children to be exploited. If you're on a computer right now looking at a kid in a sexually compromising situation and you get caught, I hope nobody gives you a break because you used the computer.
The conduct that's been described is reprehensible, and I think everyone in this room agrees. And the fact of the matter is that I'm co-sponsor of your bill, the Earn It Act, and I believe that we should be doing our job here. But part of our job, we have failed in responding to the changing circumstances that face this crime. What has it been, 15 or 16 years? She is currently not an outlier in sentencing. 70% of the federal judges face the same dilemma and wonder why Congress has failed to act and when it will act.
This is our fault?
Partially it is, Senator. To be honest with you, it is. We have to upgrade these guidelines and decide whether we're going to stick with the Supreme Court decision that they're not mandatory. Senator Feinstein.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
And then out goes Lindsey, storming out once again. So listen, here's what it fundamentally comes down to. Judge Jackson is more qualified than anybody currently on the court based on her experience. And we looked at it yesterday, sentencing commission, judge at different levels, et cetera, et cetera. They don't have anything. They've got nothing on her. And so this is what they've done. Focus on issues that are completely separate from the way that a Supreme Court actually evaluates standing and facts of cases, and to grandstand in this way. And they're pathetic, and she deserves to be confirmed, and I believe she will be. One of our longtime sponsors is Vincero Collective. If you don't know Vincero yet, it's the place to go for quality watches, sunglasses, and more. Serious style, undeniable quality, and total versatility put Vincero really at the top of the game, and their newest watch release is no exception. It's the Argo Automatic. It spotlights everything I love about Vincero. I got the Argo Automatic in frost white. This is a dive watch, which is, of course, a staple in the watch world, but I really think Vincero found a way to make this one stand out. I love the gradient blue accent of the hour markers against the solid white face. I really love all of their watches, and I own a bunch, but the Argo is probably my favorite so far. Vincero sunglasses and jewelry and other accessories are awesome too. An excellent way to elevate any outfit. Vincero Collective is giving my audience 15% off all products and free shipping. Go to vincerocollective.com/Pacman and use the code Pacman. The link is down below.